Hey guys, it's Bree coming to you with a B face, and today I have another review on Ready to Love. This is season 6, episode 4. I probably should pay more attention to what the names of the episodes are. That's a note for next time, but this one is season 6, episode 4. So the episode starts off with the Gentleman's Lounge, and this is the last set of blind dates. Hallelujah. I'm so happy that they're done with the blind dates because they could keep doing this over and over and over again. But I feel like if you're going to do it that way, then why not just start off that way? Like, people are going to meet on blind dates until you get to a certain number, and then everybody meets up and then start eliminating people. Though that might make the season a lot longer, but I don't like the setup, but you know, it is what it is. So Wiley is taking out Tina, and Tommy mentions that she is a lot closer to Wiley's age because all the other women are like 40s, and Wiley is the lone 30-year-old of the bunch. So Wiley takes out Tina. He seems to really like her. I didn't really notice too much about their conversation. They were pretty flirty. And Precious is taking out Donovan, the new guy. That girl was on Donovan, and Donovan was giving nothing. Oh my goodness, he did not seem interested at all. He is an attractive guy. He's an attractive guy. He just wasn't, I love how every guy they've added is like, more beard. Just keep adding the beards. I'm fine with that. Keep them coming. But he just did not seem interested in her. She was being very forward. And I wouldn't even say aggressive because her conversation wasn't aggressive. She was just being real sex forward and flirty, and he just didn't seem interested. And it's so funny when when a guy is uninterested but he's trying to be so nice. That interaction was just hilarious to me. But yeah, he was clearly not interested in her. And then individual dates, Laverne and Joy. Now, Laverne said something that was real, I don't know if it's a red flag, but I feel like it kind of is at his age. He said he doesn't have traditional relationship experience. So he's never been in like a long-term relationship. He just be out here dating. And people like that on shows like this confuse me because I'm like, so you're just magically going to wind up ready for a relationship just because you're on the show? I don't get that. But Joy seems interested, and they have a lot of fun together, it looks like. They're very flirty. But it's different when Joy does it because the other party is actually interested. It makes it awkward when the other one is like, ooh, stop. Like Precious and Donovan. But yeah, so they were all flirting, and Joy seems to like him, and Laverne is Laverne. And then another individual date was Demetrius and AP. I can see why her previous husband was 14 years her senior. She seems very serious and not fun. And not saying that she can't be, but every interaction you see her like on these dates, it's always very like interviewee. Like, it just does not seem fun at all. And Demetrius is just like, are you even affectionate? Like, you seem like so standoffish. He's clearly not into her. I think she thinks he's attractive. I think she said that in a previous episode. But yeah, there was nothing flying there. I don't think this is a good show for her because everyone on the show is very like energetic and out here. Okay, clearly I had some faulty setups because this camera just fell straight down. Anyway, yeah, Demetrius is not into AP. She seems very serious. Then they get to the pool party. Yo, this is where all of the things happened. And I feel like this took most of the episode, but there were so many things that happened at this pool party. First of all, Laverne is MIA this entire time. Eric, I hope they're paying you for all of this cooking, for you to be in this kitchen and not socializing with the rest of the people. I mean, you bought your chef's jacket and everything, sir. They better cut you a check. Oh my goodness. I also was curious as to what temperature is it, because all these people have shorts and pool attire on, and Tommy comes off a boat looking like it's the middle of fall. Like he has a turtleneck on, like shoes. I'm not expecting him to come in no like shorts or anything, but at least no jacket. I mean, what temperature is it outside? I didn't understand that. Tommy tells them that they're done with the blind dates. Again, so happy they're done with those. And then we get into the interactions. So Tina and Paul go off and they're talking, and Paul is like, I tend to stay away from the young ones because they seem like trouble, but Tina has an old soul. And I was like, where did you get old soul from, Tina? Because I didn't get that. I got old soul from AP. I don't get that from Tina. What does that mean even? Does that just mean like you like records and like people who did music before the 90s? I don't know. I don't know what that means, the old soul thing. I didn't get that. But again, I'm not there, so who knows? Carmen and Tina are being a little catty. I actually was not a fan. So Carmen goes into the kitchen where Eric and Dakia are having a little moment, and Eric is like about doggone near professing his love, I guess in his way, to Dakia. But Carmen comes in and he changes his whole tune. I didn't like that. Like if you're feeling Dakia, you're feeling Dakia. But it seems like maybe that's part of the strategy. Like, I don't want to go home just yet. And Carmen seems to like me. So let me just tell her she's, in the top. But you got to be careful about that. You might think you're playing the game. But these women, in their cattiness sometimes, will go into this women's lounge and say, oh, he said I was his number one. And then Dakia's going to be like, oh, he said I was number one. And now you look stupid because you were not clear about your intentions with these women. So be careful. Be careful. And Tia was like, oh, I'm trying to see my competition. Why do they have to be competition? If the man wants you, he wants you. I don't get it. I don't get it. And it feels like they're the ones who, like everyone else seemed to be pretty respectful of each other. And not that they came in being disrespectful outright. Except for Tiffany. She was just mean in general. But it's like they didn't come out and be disrespectful to the women outright, but their confessionals, they just sound like jaded and upset. Like they don't understand that this is a dating show. And so you're dating the same people, but it doesn't have to be a competition. I don't understand. Anyway, Tori and Ace get to chatting. Is Tori the one who didn't like Ace at first? Is he the one who talked about the yoga thing? Or was that Wiley? I don't remember. Ages ago. Sabrina, that lady, Sabrina reminds me of the frickin' frack lady from like 2 seasons ago, and I don't remember her name, and I'm about to look it up right now because I should have done this before. Frickin' frack. Ready to love. Stacy. She reminds me of Stacy. She looks exactly like Stacy to me. Not exactly, but she reminds me very much of Stacy and her demeanor. Like if Stacy had gotten far, I feel like she would have been a hot commodity. She's gorgeous, and Sabrina seems like a hot commodity. But yeah, they remind me of each other, Sabrina and Stacy. So Precious is going around making sexual remarks to everyone. I don't know if she decided this was her new personality, because she didn't seem like that before. And she was all into Paul. So I figured maybe she was excited about having this mature, lifestyle change. But I guess she said it to the wrong one, because she said something to Demetrius. Demetrius took her to the side and was like, don't do that. I said, oh, he kind of schooled her. Oh, yeah. But I liked Demetrius because he didn't do it in a mean way. He just expressed to her, like, I don't know if you're just playing around, but this is not the way to get to know me. So if you're really trying to get to know me, we're going to have to figure out a different way. I appreciate that approach. Oh, honesty. Oh, my goodness. It's almost like it's that easy. Anyway. Also, Paul, she had an interaction with Paul, and Paul was like, I'm going to go mingle. You should mingle too. So I guess that love connection is no longer, which is crazy because she went to bat for him. He seemed to light up when she was in the room, that elimination date, and yeah, no longer. Oh, and then in her confessional, once Demetrius was like, I don't like that, she's in her confessional and explaining like, well, I just have this personality and that makes a lot of men insecure. And in my head, I'm like, why is it always the case that if someone else doesn't like your personality, they're the ones who are insecure? Why can't it just be that they don't like what you said or did? And that's that on that. I don't understand why it has to automatically become a fault in them. Maybe they don't like your sexual innuendo. Maybe they're just not interested. And so that part of your personality is like kind of a turnoff because they're not interested in you. I don't think it has to be an insecurity in someone else, because Joy does the exact same thing, I will say, but she does it with men who are also interested in her. So just saying. Oh, and in that, Demetrius got a little more attractive to me, because when he came on and was like, I be out here cheating, but now I'm trying to be different, I was not too sure, because that is similar to what AJ came in like the player and was like, I don't want to be a player no more. And turned out that he still kind of was, because he played Church Lady from the last season. Oh my goodness. Played her. Alexis is her name. Anyway, but this guy, he seems like he really is serious when he's like, I have changed. I want to be different. I want to do things different. And I've done the work so that the next person I encounter, I can be different with them. And so he is serious about pursuing Sabrina, which I like to see it. I love to see intentionality in a man. Demetrius went up a couple notches for me. Like, I really liked how he was, and getting a chance to actually see his personality in this episode, because he's serious too, but he seems a little more like he's ready to have fun, but also he's serious about, the person that he is going to be in a relationship with. I very much like that. Laverne and his MIA-ness. So people noticed that Laverne was just not interacting and he wasn't present. And then Demetrius went over and was like, what's up, Laverne? You're not the same Vern I know. And he's like, yes, I am. I'm just observing and blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, people love to act like they're not on TV. Like, I don't understand. Like, you know what the premise is. You know that you have to be, like, they get people who are bubbly and fun and all of that stuff. And so when you're off to the side, I mean, be honest and tell someone what's going on, or make up a work thing and be absent, because he was just, it's like, I'm taking this in. You could have taken this in next to someone. I don't understand his little attitude. I think something was going on with him and he just didn't want to say it, which again, he seems real immature. Donovan's mingling. He doesn't seem like, I don't see him finding anyone here unless something switches and he gets with Sabrina. I don't feel like he's interested for real. And he's like from California, and I don't see him coming into this process and being like, I feel like my wife is here. I feel like this was TV for him. But he was mingling at least. That's about it. So that's what I got for the pool party. For Deliberation, there's generally nothing happening at Deliberation, but I did think it was funny that Paul was like, anybody but me to tell these women that they're going home. I was like, oh, Tiffany got you shell-shocked from that last elimination. He tried to give her a hug. She was like, I don't want to. And he's like, okay, I can never do this again. That was hilarious. So Demetrius is nominated to be the one to tell the women that they are not ready to love. And so it's between AP and Precious. Shocker. And then they cut off, and then they don't tell you who made it to the next one. I wouldn't be surprised if they both went home. I don't know who would go home. I'm trying to think if I could even predict, like, just from the interactions, but all those interactions are very polar. So it's like AP, all of her interactions are very serious and none of them have been romantic, at least the ones that we've seen. And Precious, all of her interactions seem real surface level, except she had a connection with Paul. So I don't know if Paul is like pulling for her because he did have a romantic connection with her, but I don't see her with a connection with anyone else. And AP, I have not seen her have a connection with anyone at all. So I can't tell, but we'll see next week. And then in the previews for next week, there were 3 main points. 1, Paul, gross. He said something about wanting his pickle and is like feeding Carmen a pickle. I was like, that's the most unsexy food to try to feed someone. And gross. You're like 50. Do you want my pickle? Ugh. And then also it looks like they're playing some truth or dare game, and someone dared Joy to get up and kiss the person she had the strongest connection with, and Joy jumped up to go kiss Clifton. I was like, I know that's right. I don't know why we acting like they're not gonna make it to the end. And then I guess something similar was asked of Sabrina, and she went up and nibbled on Demetrius's ear, and poor Tori's feelings were hurt. That was actually sad. I'm not being sarcastic. It seems like his feelings really were hurt. And it's like, that's unfortunate that you're on a dating show and multiple people like the girl you're interested in. However, I will say it is different in that I'm sure you can prepare, but there's no way that you can prepare your heart for being so interested in someone or attached to someone and they say they have a stronger connection with someone else in front of you. That normally doesn't happen in the dating world, so I can't even judge that. But his feelings did seem hurt, and they looked like they went on a date, and he was just like, I don't even know if I could do this anymore. Poor guy. But anyway, that's it for this episode of Ready to Love, and I'm so excited for next week. I want to see what problems this little truth or dare game is going to cause, because I know it's going to cause some more. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you in my next one. Bye.